Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and I am back again with John Riggs.
How's it going, buddy?
Dude, it's awesome to have you here.
Always a pleasure.
You brought a bunch of books.
I have, man, I love video games, of course, and I like the games you have here, but I am a huge fan of video game books about video games, video game history, art books about video games and all that, so I buy as much as I can. I brought the best of the best here today. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty cool video because I don't really collect... Words are hard. Words just get in the way of doing stuff.
Exactly. No, but you know, it's really cool that there is a culture or a subculture of people who really kind of dig into some of the nuances of video games and create these amazing books. Right.
Well, a lot of them, they're like us. They grew up with a passion for video games, but they also love writing or something like that. So they bring their journalism background to create these wonderful books that you have. Like we were growing up in the 80s, we couldn't just watch Star Wars whenever we wanted to. So you'd buy the Star Wars art book or something like that and flip through it.
The Scholastic with the little record on there, remember that? It was like condensed into like, you know,
little 45, you put it in there. Oh yeah, I love those books. So, or those, that was back in the day anyway. But and they're still making video game books today, and they're always up for sale and all that too. So.
So and you showed me some of this, so I'm
right.
This is gonna be pretty cool.
All right, just jump right into it then.
Yeah, let's do it.
This one just came out recently. This is from the Legends of Localization. It's called, and I have to read it word for word because I mess it up every time. This Be Book Bad Translation Video Games is literally what it's called there. And it's a little, it's just a small little book. You can just flip through it. And it's just about some of the best badly translated English, if you will, from video games that we grew up with. Not just, I mean, we all know about the, you know, A Winner Is You, or Congratulations and stuff like that too. But there's other ones that are in there that's like, I didn't even know that was poor grammar, or, you know, All Your Base or Belong to Us might be the most popular of all time.
My favorite are the ones that are oddly sexual.
Yep.
and maybe not in a way that they planned. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But this goes all the way back from the early days of video games, and the most recent one in there is a game for the Switch that they actually got the translation wrong. So completely up to date too. And Legends of Localization also did this one recently. They have a few books out there, and Clyde's doing really good with these. This one's a Legend of Zelda themed one. It's cool because it shows the difference between, the reason it's called Legends of Localization, it shows the difference between the Famicom version, or for the Nintendo, it'd be the Famicom Disk System version compared to what we got in America translation. Even like it shows like the audio sound files because the sounds are a little bit different too.
Yeah, you know, actually Kelsey was talking about this in her podcast and it sounded fascinating.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool too. Wow. That one. You talk about video game journalists, and this guy is world-renowned, as far as I know. Brett Weiss, buddy of ours.
Very cool.
I have a couple of his books. I don't have all of his books. Love running into him at conventions, because he sells his books, so every time I see him, I try to pick up a new book.
Right.
But he has a couple of them that are just about, like, here's classic video games. This is from 89 to 90, so that covers Genesis, TurboGrafx-16, Neo Geo. He also has his greatest 100 of all time from 77 all the way through 87.
Yeah, these are nice-looking books, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're well done, well professional. These ones do feature a little bit of both. Now I'll be honest with you, I have a little bit of reading comprehension problems, so reading a novel, I'm out. But this one mixes words with pictures, so you don't...
Perfect for me.
If you want to read it, great. If you want to look at the pictures, perfect. But it has a little bit of everything for you. And
that's nice, because sometimes you do need to see the cover of a game to go, oh, I remember that.
Well, sometimes I'll see a game... it'll be like, I'll see the picture of a game. It's like, I forgot I even played that in the arcade growing up as a kid. I didn't know that, okay, you know, so that's... Those are fun to look at too. Those are fun to have.
By the way, I think now might be a good point to mention that this is absolutely not a sponsored video.
Nope.
You know, because I know people will sort of suspect that, but you bought these with your own dollars.
I am a paying customer when it comes to these. So when it comes to Pat Contry's Ultimate Nintendo,
a certain NES guidebook, as he likes to say.
This is a certain NES guidebook, but I was a day one backer when it first came out because I was so passionate. I was like, video game books? Are you kidding me? So perfect. This thing is a beast.
It is. I know. I mean, yeah. You could hold open a door with this.
You could quite literally hold open a door with that if you'd like.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can tell. What I love about this book, and he's talked about it on his podcast, that's why I know this, is that, you know, they didn't just rely on nostalgia for this, for doing these reviews. They actually went back and played all of them again.
Oh, yeah.
With, you know, clear vision and a little bit of perspective. It's
677, 678 licensed Nintendo games they went back through, and not just Pat, but also Ian, Gaming Historian has a thing in there as well. Shout out to Gaming Historian. I mean, a lot of people contributed in this gigantic book.
It's cool.
And then along with the Nintendo book, our buddy Jeffrey Wittenhagen came out with, he has a couple of them himself. Here's the Like That, but the Super Nintendo guidebook. So if you're into that, this one's available now. And same idea, same premise. And he did, Jeffrey Wittenhagen also did a Nintendo book too that came out just before this Pat's book. And he did a Super Nintendo book. This one's cool because I'm in it, of course.
Oh, really?
So I'm in there.
So you reviewed some games for this?
Radical Reggie's in there as well, yeah. So
cool.
a lot of contributors popped in there. John Lester, Gamester 81's in that one too.
Oh.
So he also reached out to the community, much like Pat did, and said, hey, I'm making a book, and if you want in. I was first to raise my hand, because I want to be...
What game did you review? Do you remember?
For Super Nintendo, Spanky's Quest was one of them.
Oh, of course.
My head.
Yeah.
I love Spanky's Quest. What can I say?
You love saying it.
I love saying it too. And along with that too, not just the games. This is great for what games are there? What do they look like? Tell me a little bit about them. That's fine. But sometimes it's these stories when you were growing up with them, and that's why Jeffrey Wittenhagen also has the Compendium, which is literally talking about just your favorite video games growing up. Like, this is more about the... I wanted it for Christmas, I couldn't get it, and then my dad came home from the army and gifted me this thing. So these are also Jeffrey Wittenhagen and other pseudo YouTubers, stuff like that,
right.
who also contributed, and other content creators wrote their stories.
You can also tell he went a little bit bigger with the art as well on this one. This little bit.
Yeah, he has a lot of people helping out with the art and all that. The artist for, I want to say his Nintendo one was actually drawn by the guy who does Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, really?
He actually do the artwork for that too. So
wow, that's cool.
So great books, and still making new books here and there and all the time.
So tell me about these, because this looks old.
These are old. These are the Scholastic Readers Worlds of Power, and this is actually a complete set.
This is amazing.
These are the two. That's for the that's young adult.
So these are novels based on Nintendo games.
Right. I want
to read these. This is amazing.
They are pretty silly, and they're written for young teens. So there's Metal Gear, Ninja Gaiden. There's
Mega Man
Quest.
2.
Yeah, Wizards and Warriors, Bionic Commando.
Bases Loaded 2. This is going to be riveting.
You know what's funny? That's the hardest one to find of the lot.
Really?
That's the book that goes for...
probably, who bought it, right?
It goes for $20 to $50. Huh. When you're collecting a complete set of these. The other ones might find for $5 or $10, maybe $1 at a thrift shop. Bionic Commando, Blaster Master, Infiltrator got before Shadowgate. That's the prequel.
This is
Shadowgate
amazing.
Here.
This is really cool. I love this stuff.
Loosely based on the game. All right, so
right.
The Simon's Quest one, for instance, I think is literally about a small boy who gets kind of whisked into the land of Castlevania or something like that. Okay. So it's kind of loosely based on it, but if you dig this games, these are just fun to have.
Awesome.
Those are hilarious. We love them. We can talk about this one too. This is the Artcade. I was really excited to see this when it first came out. My only caveat is it's arcade marquees, like what you see in the arcade, where you put your quarter up there and everything. But every image is split down the middle, which isn't bad. But it does take away kind of from the full image. Yeah,
they're never going to look right because it has that fold, right?
Right. But still, it kind of gives you an up-close view of, here's kind of hard to read Mooncresta, It's like, that's all that is? Okay. But still...
It's cool that they went back and actually preserved those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And preservation might be a good way to look at some of these books. To have a high-quality image of something.
Well, speaking of which, you have one here that I am kicking myself that I didn't pick up because I love Atari 2600, and the art was such a big part of collecting for that.
And this one is exactly that, the art of Atari.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming out soon. They had it at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo a month before it came out on... I was planning on waiting. I had it pre-ordered and everything. And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, Tim Lamborghini's is right over there. You can actually pick it up right now and buy it and autograph it and everything. So this is not just the art, but also some of the original artists contribute in that book, too. So they have their little storyline of what they're talking about, where it came from. And some of those art, especially with Atari games, you didn't know what you were playing because of the pixel art.
Yeah, you needed this art to sort of tell you what that little, what
those lines. Absolutely. So that one's a great find. What's funny? I've seen this Art of Atari. I've seen a couple of these too, but especially this Art of Atari book. I've seen it at Kinokuniya's at Ojimai in Seattle.
Oh.
I've seen it at V-Stock in St. Louis, Missouri. I've seen it out there, in the wild too. So if you can't find, you can find it online.
It's a beautiful book. I know. I need to get one.
Yeah, it's if you're gonna have, it's a perfect coffee table book for sure. Our buddy Chris Kohler knows all about Japan. This is all words. So you're not going to find a whole lot of pictures in here, I'll be honest with you. He's working on a Final Fantasy book or something like that here pretty soon too, Final Fantasy V. But this talks about why Japanese video games are important, which I love because I'm a huge import gamer.
Yeah, right.
So he talks about that and kind of goes through the story and why they're important. So if you like reading about things and why things are happening and the way they are happening, Chris Kohler, buddy of ours, we shows at all the conventions too.
Yeah. Actually, I think my Virtual Boy is his. Well, I bought it off of him.
Yeah, no, I have a few games in my collection that came from him too. So he's a Famicom Disk System collector like I am.
Oh, really?
So whenever I see him, he usually has a game or two waiting for me. So
cool.
Like that. And if you love history too, our good friend Coleco, man. Coleco's great. I did not know Coleco started as a leather company.
Right, I know.
I didn't know that. So this one, there are pictures in it too. I like pictures in it too, but it tells you all the history about the Coleco, and I was a huge. I had a ColecoVision growing up. Actually, no, I had an Atom computer with a ColecoVision module.
Oh, right.
And that's how I played my Coleco.
Yeah, it's funny because ColecoVision is one of the buying guides I still need to do.
Yeah.
And
True, actually.
I know. It actually, you might be the guy for that.
Maybe. I don't have the games I used to have anymore, though.
Well, we can start with that book to help,
there we
gain us the knowledge.
And gaining the knowledge. I picked this up at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo last year. This is called Pixelance. This is the TurboGrafx-16 Turbochip book. So when you're talking about what games to look for, what are you going to buy, let's be honest, let's be real. What games are you going to download for your EverDrive or something like that? This is perfect because it shows you all the games, but it shows you in clear detail what it's called, what it looks like, couple the graphics. So you just look through it, like, oh, well, that Pac-Line's pretty common. But then you're like, oh, that looks cool. What is it called? Perfect. When did it come out? And it's cool because it dates it by release date. It's not alphabetical order. So you start with the early ones, Fantasy Zone you're talking about, Keith Courage and Alpha Zones, until the end when you get into Sinistron was one I never heard of until I picked up this book. So it's really well done.
It's a system that not a lot of people here know about. It didn't sell very well, right?
Yeah.
So
I loved it. I love me the TurboGrafx-16.
Sure,
one of my favorites. PC Engine. I'm telling you. Bitmap books. Bitmap books also did the arcade books. This one's cool because it has this lenticular design to it.
Fancy.
This was one I had to back as well, and this one, I'm so glad it was released. It's a very well done. This is the paperback version. It's paperback because I wanted to save like 10 or 20 bucks when buying it. But it shows you like up close, very detailed graphics of old Nintendo games.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of
you can see how they actually made that with the pixels.
Yeah, when you look up close, because there's something beautiful about pixel art, and it goes on to other things too in here too. But very well done. They are doing a Super Nintendo book. It was on Kickstarter. It's already been funded. It's already been backed. So the Super Nintendo book coming out soon too. And that's a lot of these books are done through Kickstarter.
I've noticed that.
They're just passion projects, and it's a labor of love, and they want to see it out there. And
it's definitely cool that they do this,
You're right. Finally here, this is, believe it or not, finally. These are all the ones I brought. I have other ones at home, too.
Yeah.
But our friends over at Hardcore Gaming 101 have a slew of books, and they're coming out with new ones all the time. In fact, their Patreon gets you, like, first look at books,
you showed me
downloads.
These are so cool.
I brought a few of them. I have, like, Arcade Classics Volume 1. They usually go through that. Yes, they have the information on this website too. If you go to Hardcore Gaming 101's website, they're going to have some of these pictures, some of this information on there too.
These are so nice looking. I mean, they're amazing, aren't they?
They're thin enough, so they're not like, again, with Pat Contry's book, I can't just bring that to the bathroom because my legs will fall asleep with it resting on my legs.
Yes.
I know from firsthand experience, right? These are perfect, so you can just pick them up and flip through them and stuff like that too. And a lot of them have extra too. This one's a Data East one. I'm a huge fan of Data East. But then if you look in the back, sometimes there'll be extra things in there too. Like, yes, this is Data East, but then in the back, there's more information on like Neo Geo games or something like that.
Tiger Electronics.
This one has Tiger Electronics in the back.
Interesting, huh? Yeah, TV shows. Wow, okay.
Yeah, this one has 80 Japanese Super Famicom games you should look out for. So this one's just from the title Arcade Classics, just to throw in there too.
Huh.
This is also the one, I don't know if you want to show this on camera here. This one has the nudity in 8 and 16-bit games.
I remember you. Yeah, so we'll pixelate this. You have to use your imagination. However, if you've ever wondered where all the nudity in all of these old games, it has screenshots of it all.
There's more nudity in video games than I ever thought there would be.
I know
a couple of these, but some of these, especially some of the PC games, it's like, good lord, look at that. My goodness. No. This one just came out recently. This is the Contra and other Konami classics too, and it's cool to see. One of the things I do love, like for Konami, for instance, or for Contra, for instance, it shows you not just Contra, but then it also shows you the screenshot comparisons from what it looked like on the arcade, the NES,
I love
the MSX2.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, so it's kind of cool to see what other systems it looked like.
Retro Gamer Magazine does that as well,
right?
Which is really neat to sort of see the Commodore 64 version versus the Amiga versus the PC. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I know. I'm pumped up. I need some of these for my bathroom.
Okay. All right. I was going to say something about that. Your bathroom's pretty bare. I can only read the shampoo bottle so many times before I'm like, come on, dude.
I need to get some books in there. That's so funny, dude. Well, you know, so I think what we'll do is we'll put a link down in the video description below to, you know, if these are available on Amazon, you can go, you know, check them out. I mean,
most of these are on Amazon, and I know personally because I bought most of these through Amazon, but some of them were Kickstarter things, but after Kickstarter, they go up on Amazon too.
Right.
So if they're on Amazon, yeah, you can check out that, and good luck to you. There's a lot more than this too, but this is just... Oh, this is still a lot of them, but there is a lot more than this too, and new books coming out all the time too.
Very cool. All right, so where can people find you on the web, man?
I am at John Blue Riggs on Twitter, Instagram, etc., and I host a YouTube channel where I show off some of these books as well as obscure gaming items and show you how to modify Nintendo games.
Yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. All right, thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and take care. John Riggs is always up for doing something a little bit different, a little bit out of the norm. And I was very grateful that he packed his SUV full of books, brought them all the way over from Yakima to Seattle to do this video. And something that you just don't normally hear about, but it's always fun to cover stuff like this on my channel. Speaking of which, you guys are going to want to be subscribed because I release 2 new videos every single week. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching.